Anthony Davis just showed every single NBA fan who he is. With today being his debut game for the Dallas Mavericks, I should make it very clear that the fans were not excited at all. Now, granted, I'm not a Dallas Mavericks fan, so maybe some of you guys who are watching who are Mavs fans, maybe you guys were excited. Maybe you guys wanted to see how he would fit in this system alongside Kyrie and Clay and whatever. But if you ask like 99% of Dallas Mavericks fans, they were not excited. They had riots going on outside of the arena. They had canine dogs. I don't know if I can find the video, but canine dogs sniffing the coffin that they had in front for Luka Doncic. Like, things were getting a bit out of hand, okay? Everyone was, kind of boycotting, saying sell the team. There were trucks with signs on them. Everyone obviously was not really liking the Dallas Mavericks today until Anthony Davis went out and stepped foot on that basketball court. Because in the first half of their game against a really good Houston Rockets team, by the way, this isn't like a bunch of bums that they're going up against like the Hornets or some shit. This is a real team, and Anthony Davis put up 24 points, 13 rebounds, and 5 assists in just the first half alone. Now, I have a lot of things I want to go over when it comes to AD being on this team, but one of the first things has to be, like, this must have felt so good for AD to get traded from your team with literally no heads up whatsoever, out of nowhere, out of the blue, right after playing a game in New York, or at least being in New York, whatever it was. I feel like no one really, cared about how he felt about it. Obviously, everyone was talking about Luka Doncic and, how shocked he was, and loyalty was this huge thing. But shit, I don't think AD expected to get moved at all either. So to be the guy that gets traded and then everybody is talking about how dumb the team that you're going to was for trading for you, like, that shit must suck. And the entire time he's probably sitting there going, I'm about to show these motherfuckers who I am. Not only Dallas Mavericks fans, but all of NBA fandom in general. And that's exactly what he did. And you know what moment I really loved about this game? I probably played the clip already, at least for the intro, but it's when he scored, I think, like his 6th point or something like that. It was only his first couple baskets, and he goes over to the crowd and starts yelling, I'm here. He's looking at them. He's yelling at them, getting them excited. Those moments, this sounds so corny, but bro, I get chills from that shit. Like, I love seeing that, and he knows what Dallas just lost. He understands why they're upset. It's not like they're mad at AD. They're mad at the entire situation, and he understands that, so he's gonna go in and say, don't worry, I'm here. And maybe I'm just getting way too ahead of myself, but I feel like this can be like a really cool story for the rest of Anthony Davis's career. If they somehow were to go on and win a championship in Dallas, like, I think he might actually love playing in Dallas more than any other team that he played for. But anyways, I'm getting a little bit carried away. In this game, he provided exactly what Nico Harrison said that he wanted when going for Anthony Davis, and that was defense. Defensively, the entire team was actually just doing their thing. AD finally got to play at the 4. They led the team, or they had like their team record in blocks. I mean, defensively, they had their shit going on. AD had 3 blocks in the first half. And then the other side of things is, like, the offense was still there. They were able to lock down on one end, but then, like I've been saying when going over AD's stats in the first half, he was able to make up for what would have been Luka Doncic's scoring. And I think that that's one thing a lot of people kind of didn't really think about when it came to this trade. Like, we're sitting here and talking about how Luka averages like 30 and 10, or, he has a 40-point game. AD can give you that. Anthony Davis can give you a 30-point game every single night if he wants to. If he's fully healthy, if he's feeling good, he can do that. It's not like that scoring is gonna go away. But the best part about it is that he can do it in a way where other guys like Kyrie Irving or Klay Thompson or PJ or whoever's playing the 5, they can get theirs too. Not saying that Luka can't do that, or he wasn't doing that for this team, but I'm saying it's not like you're replacing that by getting one guy and saying, okay, you're the guy that's gonna score the ball. There were so many second chance opportunities that AD was able to grab in this game. So many just hustle plays, great moments, like things that actually kind of made you sit there and go like, hey yo, the Mavericks might be doing something right now. It should also be known that Kyrie Irving had a bad game. He was not doing good. I mean, let me see like how he finished with, 13 points on 4 for 15 from the field. And that's one of those things where, like, in the first half, it was 65 Dallas to 48 Houston, and Kyrie Irving didn't make a single field goal. Didn't make a single shot at all. A lot of it was AD. PJ Washington didn't do too well either. Klay Thompson was getting those shots down. There's no doubt about that. But those are moments that make you think, if Kyrie Irving can get his game going, and when AD is doing his thing, the scoring is fine. And defensively, they're all putting in the work. So this team is kind of doing what Nico Harrison thought it would be. And that's kind of rounding out the roster, right? Making them all just kind of play as a more cohesive unit. And everything I say right now isn't trying to take away from what Luka did or how he was playing with this team. They made the finals under him. I'm not saying that AD is coming in and being a better player and doing this. Obviously, defensively, he is. But I do think it's important that we give some credit to not only the Mavericks, but Anthony Davis for coming in and being able to do what he has done. So the first half, things were looking great. I mean, it was like insane. So many highlights, great moments, whatever it is. And then the second half came around. I forget when exactly it happened in the second half, but AD ended up going down with an injury. It was a very weird, like non-contact, weird. I honestly thought he like twisted his penis or something. I don't know what happened. He was grabbing his balls a fair amount after the play, so I didn't really know what went down. He said himself after the game that he doesn't think it's too bad, but he did not play the rest of the game after that injury. But all signs are showing us that it wasn't a terrible injury. He might miss a game or two, but he could also very well be back for the next one. What's up? Editing KingCharge here in what looks like the pits of hell. Very obvious switch up from the video right now, and that's because in the last clip I said something along the lines of AD should be back for the next game. Well, turns out that was wrong. While editing this video, reports came out basically saying that the injury is looking pretty bad. He's going to be out for at least a couple of weeks. Some people are even saying for the rest of the season. So I guess for the rest of this video, everything I say, like if I say that the rest of the season's gonna go good, let's not really think about that. But think of it more as like I'm talking about the next season, right? Because I am still optimistic and I do still have my hopes pretty high up for this team. So just go ahead, anytime I talk about this year or them doing something good this season, just push it to next year. Sorry, hopefully AD feels better soon and doesn't sit out for the rest of the season. Okay, back to the video. And so I will say, after this game, I have a lot more hope in the Dallas Mavericks. I actually wanted to make a video quite a while ago after the trade and talk about how I think things will be okay for the Dallas Mavericks and how I actually like their roster construction more than I like the Lakers. But there is one big thing. I have a really big issue with some stuff that I saw on Twitter recently, and that's everyone talking about, dude, the Dallas Mavericks fans, they were reacting like they traded for Bobby Portis. I'm being so serious, and I'm gonna try to be, nice with how I say this. Please shut the fuck up. If there's one thing that I hate, it's when everybody in the entire NBA, including myself, sits here and says, look at how bad this trade was. This was the dumb move. This is so stupid. And we all acknowledged that Anthony Davis was Anthony Davis. No one was sitting here saying the Lakers traded a bag of chips for Luka Doncic. Everyone said, hey, respectfully, Anthony Davis is a great player, but you're trading Luka fucking Doncic. So when I see people sit here and say, you guys really didn't think Anthony Davis was going to be good? Oh my God, shut the fuck up. Oh my God. Because it just pisses me off. Yeah, I sat here and said that the trade isn't good, but I didn't sit here and say anything about, oh, the Lakers barely gave up anything for Luka Doncic. Could they have given up more, right? Should Nico Harrison, should he have asked for more? Should he have gotten some first round picks? Should he have gotten Dalton Kennett? Yes, I do believe so. Okay, let me stop with that rant because there is another big kind of conversation, and that's kind of, when it comes to who won the trade. And I was thinking about this while watching the game, not necessarily in the way where it's like, oh, Luka goes to the Lakers, they obviously win, whatever. But I was thinking about it, and I said, if this Dallas Mavericks roster wins a championship, let's say within, next 2 years they win a championship, right? And the Lakers, maybe LeBron retires, they kind of do a weird little quick rebuild trying to make things better, and they don't win for the next 5 years, but then they end up winning 2 or 3 championships down the line. I feel like that's when we can kind of say who won the trade. And if that's the case, right, like if that situation I just laid out where the Dallas Mavericks win this year or next year and the Lakers win 2 or 3 more down the line, I think it's safe to say it was a win-win trade. We can sit here all we want and say the Dallas Mavericks would have had 5 championships down the line if they had kept Luka Doncic, but we don't know that. I almost feel the same way with the whole Lakers situation when they won the championship in the bubble, where a lot of people were saying that LeBron's time in LA was like a waste, or he should have just stayed in Cleveland, or he should have stayed. It's like, no, he won a championship in 2020. That's the goal. The goal is to win a championship. So if the Mavericks win, I want to make this very clear. If the Mavericks win a championship with this construction, with Anthony Davis in their starting lineup at all, they may not have won the trade, but they are definitely not losers in the trade, okay? I want to make that clear. I'm trying to back up my Dallas Mavericks people out there because I feel like they don't really get as much, love as they do for this move. You know, everyone kind of looks at the big name and says, okay, automatically the Dallas Mavericks are suckers. A championship is a championship, but if there's another guy on this trade that no one seems to be talking about either, it's Max Christie. And listen, y'all, I'm gonna be so honest. When I say no one was talking about him, I am looking at a mirror. I did not say a word. I don't think I mentioned or murmured Max Christie's name whatsoever all my life. And you know why? It's kind of because he's a Lakers guy. Like, I never really cared to watch the Lakers in my free time. I'm just being honest here. And so I always kind of thought, like, okay, Max Christie, he could be a good young player, but because he's on the Lakers, he's obviously going to be overhyped. He's not really that good. If you send him to any other team, any other market, he's not going to get nearly that much attention. And he proved me wrong, because on the Dallas Mavericks, the guy is hooping his fucking ass off. And he's not just scoring points. He's not just knocking down threes efficiently. He's defending. And I knew he was a good defender. That's not like a shock to me. But watching his defense, whoo, man, he is fun to watch. So really, at the end of the day, I do want to make one of these videos for the LA Lakers going over their team with Luka and whatever, but I'm going to wait until he actually plays a game. Right now, though, Dallas Mavericks fans, I say we kind of lower the pitchforks a little bit, okay? We maybe put the coffin back in the shed for the time being. Maybe I'm overreacting after one game, and you can let me know down in the comments below. I read and respond to everyone, but that was just such a fun game to watch. I had to come on here, talk a little bit about AD, talk a little bit about Max Christie, the Mavericks in general, and yeah, let me know. While you're down there, be sure to like and subscribe so you know when I upload. It also helps out the channel a ton, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Later.